Welcome to Your American Dream. I'm Manisha Jennings, and today we're exploring how strategic thinking and following your heart can lead to business success with Krittika Mehrotra, whose journey from global consulting to specialized cost reduction shows that sometimes the best strategies combine professional expertise with personal purpose. Hi, Kritika. Welcome. Thank you so much for being on my show today.
Thank you, Anisha. Thank you for having me. Happy Friday. I'm very happy to be here.
Happy Friday. So, yes, tell us a little bit about Kritika. You came here 3 years ago from India. You had a COVID wedding. You navigated all the visa issues that came with applying as a spouse. And, you're here now and you started your own business. Tell us a little bit about all of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just to give you a little bit of background about me, I did my undergrad in economics, worked with this company called Grant Thornton. I did my MBA, worked with KPMG. Then I met Shubham, my husband, and we decided to take the plunge. We had a lot of discussions about where we want to be. I was very fortunate to have a very well established life. So I born, brought up Delhi, went to Delhi University. My MBA school was near as well. So I hadn't left my area, so to say, up until I decided to make a move here. My work took me places, so I traveled for work and we took vacations, etc. But my first one-way ticket to the US was when I decided to get married and come here. It was a COVID wedding. We were supposed to get married in December 2021. COVID hit. We decided to postpone it May 2020. No, May actually, December 2020, we were supposed to get married. Things got crazy. Then it was May 2021. But unfortunately, US closed its borders from a lot of countries, and India was one of them. So we had to postpone it, and ultimately it was in July 21. My husband, he had a little freeway. We quarantined in Mexico and came via that route. So yeah, so that was a little bit of hiccups and everything that we had to do. But eventually we got married. I came here to the US. When I came here, I would say and I did my research on job applications, KPMG being a global company. I spoke to my partners here, etc. Everything was very good. My visas and everything were in progress. So, yeah, this feels great. I'm a very ambitious person, and I loved the global perspective that working here had to offer. And I was very happy that, I'm going to now be here, and probably like my top places to work were New York, Chicago, Boston, even here in Michigan, lots of great firms, etc. I was getting offers left, right, center. Like my LinkedIn was buzzing as soon as I made that update. And I was very fortunate and grateful for everything that was coming my way, all the interesting conversations that I was having with people. But till the time that I got my AD, or the authorization which allows me to work. This was 2022. So I landed here in 2022 beginning, I think hunky dory. 2022 late, unfortunately, market took a turn for the worse. There were a lot of layoffs happening. And I speak for the consulting industry, market was tough, people not getting hired, etc. Unfortunately, it was those troublesome times that all hiring was frozen. The top companies, the big threes of consulting or the big fours of consulting, etc., they took a pause and they just wanted to assess the market situation and go from there. So yeah, so then I'm like, what here? Where do we go from here, etc. But then I was in an exploratory journey. I tried to understand what are my options, etc. I went on my husband's dependent H4 visa. We started that process. It took some time for me to get my work authorization. But then I started my own consulting practice within cost optimization, which I'm finding very fulfilling right now. So yeah, that's been my journey in a nutshell.
I love it. I love it. I love how you've taken all your circumstances, experiences, and always converted them into something positive. So tell us what attracted you to strategy consulting initially.
I guess business problems, the method out of madness was something that always made sense to me. I as a person, I would say I'm a planner, I'm an organizer. I like to, if something is just in a haphazard manner. And I feel that's what consulting is. And obviously, as you gain more years like I used to work with consumer goods, etc., industry, etc. You get more nuances of it, etc. But bringing that method to madness is essentially, I feel, what consultants offer, apart from obviously the technical skills. But yeah, I love doing that. So when I studied business studies in undergrad, commerce part of it, accounting, business studies, economics, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, why a certain product works in a certain market for a certain target demographic and why something else does not. So yeah, so those kind of things I would say really, really, I loved working on them. True believer of data tells a story if you want to listen to it. You may think that no, this is what happens, etc. Like, maybe in a household you feel that a man is the decision maker and like, but ultimately when the data tells you like probably like 70% of the decisions are made by the woman of the house. So yeah, so like data always tells a story and I love working, slicing, dicing data, listening to those different nuggets that it has to offer and help make my clients make those informed decisions too. So that is where my love, I would say, for those business and the rush that I get from solving that problem and delivering a output to my client and seeing it actually being implemented and things turning up for them. So that's really something of a value add I really feel gives me great pleasure to. So yeah, that's how my love I guess was had started. I had always been in consulting. So right from my journey with Grant Thornton to KPMG to a little bit of freelance to now my own practice, I had always been involved within these realms, be it on the commercial strategy side or operational strategy side or mergers and acquisitions. So yeah.
That's amazing. Lovely. Thank you for sharing that. So tell us, what was your experience when you landed in the US? Did you have
Yeah.
culture shock? Did you have like, where did I land? What is going on? I don't know what the next steps are. How did you navigate that initial period?
Yeah, I guess not a cultural shock. I won't say a global citizen. Probably that's an incorrect word, but I had traveled quite a bit. I have friends and family here in the US. Had visited them, visited others. My husband has been here for some time, so I'd met his friends. So had a very big support system. Definitely one of the apprehension was I come from New Delhi in India, which is a very fast moving city. So like, from a city girl to a suburban girl. So that was an apprehension in my mind that, how I'm going to navigate that. And like I haven't lived in suburbs. Or another apprehension was, of course, I live in Michigan, the cold part of it. But I would say very surprisingly and very, very nice change. None of these two factors, like the suburban life, I was able to accept it. Maybe due to the stage I was in life. So I was 29 when I got married. I partied. I lived a very nice, good life in my 20s. So I was maybe, ready to adult in life or grow up in life, if you may. So yeah, so like I guess that was a very warm, accepting change that even I did not know I would do so well in. And second, we have a great friend circle here, which probably in the US always helps. I hear some of my friends complain of loneliness and like, not having that friend circle and everything. So I was very grateful to have just been shifted to that nice friend circle that already existed because of my husband. And yeah, we just had a great time. So I guess when I landed, no cultural shock or a feeling of where have I landed, what's going on, etc. Maybe the learning curve would come coming from India. We are a huge population. So we have a lot of help, etc. So the learning curve came and we had to, it's a sort of an entitled statement, but all the work that you got to do in the house. So I guess that was something that was a big learning curve. Oh my God, the work does not finish. Like, right from laundry to cleaning to cooking and like utensils and there's just so much your to-do never finishes. So yeah, that was something that I had to upgrade myself on and it's not like a one day or something, right? Like it took some time for it to become a habit and just become a part of me that yeah, along with work and along with everything else, this just comes. Otherwise in India it was just work and everything is served on a platter to you otherwise. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I totally relate to that. And yeah, it's just different lifestyle. So tell us a little bit about your expertise in cost reduction. How did you develop that?
I mean, definitely because of, my previous background and the studies that I've undertaken, my MBA and my undergrad studies, and what I studied even in my school for that matter. So all of that were, I would say, the founding pillars of me going in that direction. Like, very simple statement, profit is equals to revenue minus cost. So I work across these three value drivers, look at the revenue side, how we can boost the revenue of a company to make it where it wants to be, reduce the cost to make it more profitable, etc. So that I had been involved, I would say, for the past decade, a little more, over a decade, within these realms and how we can work around these numbers and financial data points. Cost reduction, it was an exploratory journey. So when I started, thought that I'm going to, with all the market changes happening and understanding where I go from here, etc. So I listened to various podcasts, spoke to some previous partners, both at my previous firm, which is KPMG, and others, what their exit strategy was when they were thinking of getting out of the big corporates and consulting, just exploring all these bunch of options. So I heard about Schoolie Mitchell, which is my company, on a podcast actually, did my due diligence on what it offers, etc. So Schoolie Mitchell, it's a franchise system. Why I loved the idea of the franchise was because it gives me wind beneath my wings, if you may. So I have a system in place. I have a marketing team. I have an admin team. I have a support system of mentors, coaches, because being a solopreneur can sometimes feel very lonely. So I have a sounding board to talk about those ideas and everything. And again, the fruit did not fall too far from the tree. So the business part of it, I understood very well that how, if I'm able to save cost for a company, how it can directly impact their business, make them more profitable, make them more valuable. Those things came easy to me. I loved the support system that Schoolie Mitchell has to offer to me. And it works on a contingent model. So if I don't showcase my clients some measurable savings, I just offer a free analysis, which I feel is such a great USP that I offer a complimentary analysis to whichever client I'm working with. If there are no savings, I don't charge them a penny. So it's a zero risk, zero investment sort of a commitment from them. I always try to go above and beyond for my clients, give them great service. And that is my agenda, that I want to wow them with my service. Because like I said, that, I love working on those business problems, and just it gives me a very fulfilling feeling too. So it's a win-win for both. So yeah, that's what led me to cost optimization. Love the idea behind it, for just offer another pair of eyes to my clients to see how we can support them reduce their business expenses. And there's so much business expenses to be saved, so much inefficiencies gets created over the years. So yeah.
That's lovely. I'm glad you spoke about the franchise and told us about it. So tell us a little bit about your methodology for identifying vendor cost savings.
Yeah. So it's a very simple process that we follow, very transparent, easy. Again, it's not like a black box that, I go to my clients with and they just give me the information. I ensure that they are also understanding how we undertake everything that we do, etc. So I work on smaller cost categories, I would say. And when I say smaller cost categories, I mean smaller ticket items for a company. So telecom, waste, shipping, probably merchant services, etc. These cost categories might be small in nature, but clubbed together, they're about 20 to 30% of a company's operational budget. And hence, more inefficiencies get created within these cost categories because I work but if you think about it, like, even within B2C for your telecom, who every month maybe your telecom provider increases like $2 or $5 monthly, and you're just like, okay, it's $5, you don't, but then it's $60 in a year, like just from a B2C perspective. And then, like, over the years you're just paying and those inefficiencies get created, and suddenly you're like, why am I paying this big amount? And yeah, so that's what we bring to the table. All I need from my clients is, again, like I said, very simple model, just a couple of months bills, previous bills, and the initial contract that they signed with their vendors. I look at those. I have a team of about 325 analysts who are expert in negotiations, have their expertise within each of these cost categories that I work on. So I would say, from a futuristic point, a lot of labor intensive work. We pick up the phone, We talk to different vendors, and Schooling Mitchell has been around for a long time, for about 28 years. So even vendors keep their pencils sharp when they get to know. We have catered to over 30,000 clients so far. So when we, go apply those market pressure, we know what a similar sized company that we are assisting right now, what they should be paying. Are you paying more? It becomes easy with the wealth of knowledge that we have. And from a backward integration point of view, we look at if there have been any billing errors. So we've invested a lot of money into proprietary softwares, um, data analytical tools, etc., that's able to identify those past billing errors and get that money immediately back into my client's pocket. So that's how we establish the baseline and take it from there.
Love that. Thank you for explaining all of it. So tell us a little bit about, do you see any common overspending patterns in a business? What does that look like, and what is your approach to that?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, actually. And, a very consultant-driven answer that it depends. It depends on the industry that I'm working with. Obviously, bigger the industry size, I guess, greater the efficiency sometimes. However, it could be that if it's a very well-established company with a central vendor management team and that kind of a thing, probably inefficiencies are lower, or due to the size of the business that they are in, they're already having some very reduced prices, a deal that they have struck with their vendors. Having said that, patterns you don't really get to know till you really take a deep dive into that data and look at it from a grassroots level. A lot of time goes into reviewing those bills. So for example, for your merchant service, you usually get like this thick bills every month for your merchant service. So merchant service is credit card swiping, credit debit card, that kind of a thing. So you get this thick of a bill every month, and to just go line by line with that, it's a cumbersome process. And of course, there has been automation, etc., that we have also done, due to the experience my team has been that they have garnered over the years. They are able to identify errors, like obviously become faster in those identifying process. But yeah, like for example, manufacturing shipping cost is huge. So just to give an example, so within manufacturing shipping, so I do less than truckload and small package shipping. Great inefficiencies unfortunately get created over time. So we are able to reduce that. For food and beverage industry, I would say merchant service is a very popular category because so many transactions happen. There can be other categories like waste. So for healthcare providers, waste is big. For manufacturing, gases is big, uniforms and linens. So yeah, so like I would say sometimes like different categories tie to different industries, which are the top performing categories, but you can just have all the categories for a business as well.
Awesome. So, how do you approach operational versus commercial strategy different?
So commercial strategy, I would say, mostly focus on the revenue side of things. So, the company is in a growth phase. The company wants to expand, either get into more geographies, expand their product portfolio, boost their revenues. So, more they can be, not necessarily, but more spending phase, I would say, because obviously you would invest into marketing activities, sales activities, advertising, that kind of a thing to boost that revenue number for you. So, commercial focuses would be a lot on macroeconomic factors, external factors combined, what your competition is doing, what your pricing strategy is, how you can create a more valuable product for your customers so that you can boost that number, so on and so forth. Operational strategy, I would say, is more of an internal outlook. I can trim my cost, how I can make my costing that I have currently more leaner to be a more efficient company. Both of these numbers obviously impact your profits. Revenue obviously is a more rounded number and includes a lot of other things as well. Whereas cost reduction, if you're able to reduce your cost, it has a direct impact on your profits. So like if I'm doing a commercial strategy project for a client, I would say it involves looking at a lot more factors with respect to external, internal competition, macroeconomic factors, people spending ability, elasticity, demand, that kind of a thing. Operational strategy is more of an internal view for a company to look at how I'm spending. Am I overspending? Maybe I'm spending $10 to acquire customer acquisition cost, $10 to acquire a client hypothetically, but that client is only yielding me $5 lifetime value of a client. So does it make sense? Do I need to ration something somewhere, that kind of a thing? I would say those are different approaches with which you have to view, or different lenses with which you view these two strategies, but there is definitely an overlap when you look at that profit numbers. Like if a company or if a client comes to you that my goal is just to increase profits, then you look at both sides of the equation.
Got it. Thank you for explaining that. So, what has been your most successful cost reduction project so far?
Most successful, that's so interesting. So actually, I helped a manufacturing company, and that's where, I mean, I love working with manufacturing companies, I would say, because and not nothing too big. So like what I'm doing right now, not that I cannot assist billion-dollar companies, but my focus is, I would say, not billion-dollar companies right now. Not that we don't have the expertise or the people or skills to support them, but just from experience, I feel that either they may have like a centralized vendor management team already in place, or some deals that they have struck. Again, like I said, that we as Cooley Mitchell have helped billion-dollar companies as well create great efficiencies and savings. But so my focus areas is less than billion-dollar companies. So yeah, we were able to help a manufacturing client save like almost $200,000 on their shipping cost, which was a great uh, you know, saving for the company and even for us. So loved doing that project. Um, I was reading yesterday that our team was able to secure again $300,000 savings for another client. So just great savings here and there, and these are big numbers because it's directly gets added to the bottom line of a company. But even for smaller companies, like if we are able to save just $10,000 a year for like a small coffee shop or a restaurant, etc., that number greatly impacts them, and it's very important for them.
Absolutely, I agree. So, how do you build trust with your CFOs and business owners?
Yeah, a great question again. It's a process like any, business, and trust is such an important word in a business. You wouldn't do business with a person if you do not trust that person. And I truly believe I wouldn't have it any other way as well. So when you like the way I approach things is I try to tell them about my credentials, the companies that I've worked with, et cetera, et cetera. So like, showcase my credibility, showcase Cooley Mitchell's credibility, which is being 30 years in the business, having been catered to 30,000 clients, over $1 billion in documented savings. So, like, just explain that entire process. One is this, of course. The other is I love people. I love to know about their journey. I love to know where they came from, how long have they been in business, what are their pain points, are they even in the right mindset right now to save money. So when I say that, I mean like, a company may be in growth stage and they have like a lot of acquisitions happening and a lot of projects going on. So maybe cost saving is not a priority for them. So like if they don't have that, and I have to give thought triggers to my clients sometimes, that a dollar saved is a dollar earned, right? So sometimes people are very quick to grasp what we do, and it's a free analysis. Why wouldn't you come on board and just, offer another set of eyes and let me do that? But sometimes, and rightly so, a business owner or people, they have so many different things to do that you have that project and you have no time to look at other things, and you're okay spending or overspending a little bit here and there. So yeah, I just tell them what I do, explain the process, learn about those things, and then ensure that I touch base with them after 6 months or a year and to see where they are at and if now is a good time. So it's not a short sale or a very quick sale. I would say it's a process, and that process involves building trust, building relationships. I'm just here to provide good service, and so that's what my process is: getting to know the person, telling them about my and my company's credentials, and taking it from there.
Perfect. So, how do you measure success beyond just cost savings?
Do you mean like personally or?
Yeah, just in terms of your business or for you, what exactly makes a successful client?
Say like multiple things actually. Like, one is of course the transactional or the commercials part of it, that you are there to do a job, everything like you are able to do. But the implementation part of it, which we do for our clients as well, is so important and so fulfilling for me. The value that we bring to the table, pre-analysis, getting that money back to them. And, so many times when I have conversations, my clients tell me, Kritika, we were looking to buy that CRM software that we weren't able to buy. And now within the money that you have saved us, I can invest over there. Or due to the market situation and everything, I wasn't able to pay bonuses to my um, team for the last 2 years, but I have some liquidity finally in hand. I would say, like, that entire thing is very fulfilling, and I feel so good that I was able to make a difference. So hence, even after the project ends, I love staying in touch, knowing my commercial strategy expertise also lets me have those kind of conversation with them that, okay, you were thinking about doing this or doing that. Uh, why don't with the save money? What are you going to do? So it's not just saving money, but I do like to learn where they would be investing that money. Everybody loves money back into their pocket. Who doesn't, right? And there are so many things that you want to undertake doing with that saved money. So yeah, just the entire life cycle of it and coming in full circle, that's a very great moment for me. So I would say, yeah, that just that kind of thing. I feel that it was a good, successful project. And sometimes even after the project ends, my client keep me on because, I'm able to shoulder so much of their responsibility or just take so much of headache off their plate. So we are able to, they just keep me on as a retainer or something, and we take it from there.
That's amazing. Wonderful. Kudos to you. So, are you seeing any trends that has changed post-COVID in business spending?
I mean, with everything again, like the market uncertainties, etc., I would say people for sure they are a little on the fence with respect to spending or tackling market situations, tariffs, and everything, like, with everything that's been happening in the market. Having said that, that there are certain macroeconomic factors that's beyond your control, and there are certain factors that's in your control. So, like the categories that I work on, so telecom, merchant service, shipping, waste, uniforms, etc., work just on 14 cost categories. So that's what try to tell my clients that maybe you can tighten these ropes because there are certain things obviously we'll see as things unfold and what decisions have been made, how they trickle down and impact a particular business and those kind of transactions. So yeah, so I try to tell them to at least tighten the rope where we can with respect to, and just to answer your question, that if I've seen any changes, etc., I would say, yeah, they want to observe how the situations unfold and make their decisions accordingly, or the sentiment of being unsure, not for everybody, but for a lot of smaller businesses that at least I work with, just to see how things unfold and what best decisions they can make, and as being as informed as possible for those decision making.
Thank you for sharing that and explaining it so well. So, how has remote work changed vendor cost strategies?
Yeah. Remote work, I would say, I mean, vendor, a lot of people definitely things happen a lot on Zoom, and chatbots have come into place, and people are more comfortable, conversing with somebody either on phone or on text messages, chats, etc. But I still feel that personal touch for vendor strategy, is very much prevalent in the industries, or at least the clients I work with. They do like to have a face to whoever is managing. So, for example, for telecom, maybe it's AT&T or Verizon, etc. They do like to have a name or a designated person. If it's a decent sized company, maybe they have like, 15, 20 phone lines with them, and they would like to know this is my point of contact within that company, etc. I would say like a physical meeting or like that is still quite prevalent within the things that I'm working with, within the cost categories I'm working with, or within the clients I'm catering to. But definitely, people are more comfortable just talking to a chat bot and explaining their problems, and then being transferred to a physical agent on the chat only, or speaking to somebody, on phone. So those things have, like, you don't have to be out on the road as much, probably. But yeah, those things have changed a little. Like, people have transitioned from meeting and everything happening face to face to, like, probably, like, more electronic mediums.
Amazing. So, what would be your three takeaways or like the three strategies that a new business or like a small business who's developing, what do they need to keep in mind or what do they need to be aware of?
I mean, entrepreneurship is such a hard road. It's because and I say this from personal experience. So like, it's different for everybody, but I can speak from my experiences and what I've seen in the market so far. You wear so many different hats. So it's not just like, you are in charge of a P&L or delivery or like, understanding data or you're an analyst. You are everything. So you're the salesperson, you're the marketing person, you have a meeting, like everything under the sun. And it's different for different people. Like some people are just born for it and like, they go for it. For some people it can be an acquired skill. So I would say for me personally, it's an acquired skill. Had always belonged to the service industry, and that was my comfort zone. So this was a stepping out of my comfort zone. But I'm meeting so many interesting people, learning so much. Still am. So like I won't say the skill has been acquired. It's an ongoing process and it's a journey. So yeah, like for people who want to come into entrepreneurship or starting their own small business, every day is a new challenge. You learn to get on with it. You learn to navigate through those things and that life throws at you. There are more no's than there are yeses, for sure. But when that yes happens and when you're able to deliver, just be persistent. Persistent perseverance is so important. Don't let go. At the same time, like it's a fine balance between, not hammering somebody down or being too pushy. So you find your stride as you go along the way, and what's your balance and how you want to approach a certain problem and that kind of a thing. So
So, if somebody wants to work with you or reach out to you, what is the best way to connect with you?
my email is the best way. I have a big name, 8-letter name and surname. So my email ID is kritika.mehrotra@schoolymitchell.com, and I'll be happy to, share it with you if you can post it. So that's
Yes.
email is always the best. I'm being a very consultant, like I'm with my laptop, I sleep with my laptop, go everywhere with my laptop. So that's the best way to reach out to me. Very proactively, I can respond over there.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for being here today and sharing your experiences and your knowledge about the consulting field with us. I wish you all the best and cheering you on.
Thank you, Anisha. Thank you. It was so nice speaking with you today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My absolute pleasure. As we wrap up our conversation with Kritika, remember that the best business strategies often come from understanding what truly matters. If you're looking to showcase your consulting expertise through a professional website that builds trust and attracts ideal clients, I'd love to help create that strategic digital presence through a custom WordPress website. This is Anisha Jennings reminding you that sometimes the most profitable strategies start with the heart. Until next time.